Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome, everybody, to yet another edition of Manny's Writing Speakeasy. And this week, as I guess you can tell by that opening, we're doing a little bit of a random throw it all out there feel. Whatever comes to mind comes to boat. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean a bunch of freestyles, although that would be pretty interesting too. But I'm not the best at freestyling, although I'm not horrible at it, I guess. But what I mean by random is I'm just going to pick pieces from wherever. I didn't have a set list of what I was going to read today. But anyway, we're going to start this night off with a little piece. I just found this today, actually. It's an old piece of mine. I wrote this years ago. And it started because there was a song that I loved called Starting Over. And, this poem is called Starting Over. Fear my bloodshot retinas straight into your eyes. Endear our hollow hearts to these stark changes. Open up the flood rush of helping feelings. Let the butterflies ingrain into our withering spirits, visiting perceptively empty areas today. But for us, this is where basking light sustains. Crayola yellow and burnt sienna depicts our past and the ever-enlightening present we live in. A plastic kiss becomes an erotic measure of touch. A frantic squeeze of the body's pressing unmasks our thoughts. These replicate our actions that eloquently sew us together. No optional standard set of any plausible future. We just set sail the present journey of affection. Open up the unabated, unabridged world with no sanctions, hand in hand, while the breeze expedite goosebumps. Extremities tingle for the risk of not knowing what's next with each other. Rhyming the fabrics to coexistence has been deemed harder than the expectancy unintentionally forced upon. Day after day we greet each other, meet each other. Day after day the embrace turns colder, grows older. Every turn to make traverses concrete privacy. Factions and interpretations of self are being raped. Wandering the love that brought us here to begin with. Baiting the egregious delegations that breed hate. Sure enough, temptations leave us salivating. The growing distrust, though, magnifies the induced aggravating. In turn, new feelings rest inside, impregnating the whole body. What we know as it stands instinctively dissipates to further spew the ever-burgeoning vitriol that lies inside. Traumatic family occurrences holds distaste for present cries, and to act vociferously with bone-crunching slaps, indemnify any solitary sedation with artificial anger, but with real acts. Open a new state of selectivity and reflective activity. Enter in unfounded individuals while burning past bridges. Solace can be intertwined in activity, but not reactivity. To find this out, you must go seek. Learn from a guiding missionary, maybe a past hero. Test your newly bewildering state in a climactic sense before the folding spoke of spiritual confinement wholly folds. But really neither can shade the dissident reality. Too many taut seams have been pushed to decode this. We cannot guide ourselves if we inseminate enigmatic perceptions. Travel on with a peace gone with ourselves or our actions, absconding the truth veiled deep inside purposely. So the detachment revs its rusty but ugly gears as we drink, smoke, fuck, binge, scream, act, and lie ourselves to sleep, dreaming of revisiting the old reality while burying the now. And finally, lull into a cataclysmic collision of heavy vehicles head on, almost dead on. Scoop the fictitious feeling of good and jump to the present. Limp in a combining rhythm as we finally embrace again. Ever grateful for the overlooking Savior, our guardian angel that brought us together. Refocus on life. Refocus on self. Refocus on relation. Once again, we veer into each other's fraught eyes. We start over. And that one was called Start Over. That one was, again, as I said, an old piece. Going to move on here today because I've got a lot of other pieces to share with you all. This next one is called Ultimate Contradiction. And considering there's a lot of imagery of cold and snow, kind of makes sense for today, even though we don't have a lot of snow. It's colder than it ever should be in late March. So this will make sense. Ultimate contradiction. Immersed in the shadows, but plainly scoping the light. Sunsets dawn the dawn for your night, while brimming the tears with a wry, sparse, but grandiose ray of hope. More like a blip, green flash, it toys with your mind. Mirage, subliminal, but all too beautiful. Serenity, if even for only a second, is a second more than some people have. Aches, echoes, voices trap you into a trance as you wait for the sun to splash upon your face or for a God to bless you. They say you can win, you can beat the voices, but they are the voices. All the pain and suffering you mistook as penance was just pain and suffering, no more, no less. That mercurial and evasive joy was never there to begin with. Illusions, blinded clarity, forced fate, ultimate contradiction, your life is now festering into. So you sit, waiting, wondering, wandering, thinking way too damn much. It's like bracing the cold, gusty breeze on the backside of a powerful nor'easter. The sun is out. Clouds are breaking. You can see the end coming, but the snow is still falling. The winds are biting and blinding. And worst of all, you still feel the damage done. This wall of white paralyzes me, trance in style as I blow in the wind. Problems dissolve, face moves again, heart defrosts, for the battles did not kill. The lessons stay forever, ceasing all contradiction. A life tortured and torturing is finally absolved. Thank you. That one was called Ultimate Contradiction. This next one kind of plays into that last one. It kind of has the same, how do you say, theme to it, or that like enlightenment, rebuilding, whatever you want to call it. Now this next one is called Black Bars. It's a special one of mine because it was published in the New Plains Review for the spring 2013 edition. I have a link to my website to that poem. Well, the website of New Plains Review. It's a great publication. So I would encourage you all to check that out. Anyway, this one is called Red Bars. Excuse me, Black Bars. Red bars. Sane, I am drowning. Black, the tar pool bleeds into me. Adjunct to the filth and the odors, the nostrils sneeze the powder out and in, or the feigned affection. Divine imperfection thwarts canine actions and regulating systems off to the side. Anxiousness spreads fear. Negativity breeds hate. Resentment sows the seeds of contempt. Redundant, I am no longer perfect. I am not an ounce of self-esteem. I am many grand thoughts, many diabolical schemes. Too fearful to feed either, too confused to choose. Pain swears to tread on my life. Caution dims the lights, eroding my soul. Indecision extends familiarity. Comfort zone nears, even if comfort isn't all too comfortable. Change glides the plane of fear, crashing through membranes, about to burst into flames. I am about to burst. Darkness enlivens the dead inside of me. Rage fuels the fire that burns my enemies. Hunger injects the urgency of time and results, not feelings, reactions, lack thereof, or fantasies. I am but a fantasy now. In due time, I will relive. Again, that one is called Black Bars. That one is, as I said, was published in New Plains Review, Spring 2013 edition. Check that all out. They've got a lot of great work there. I encourage everyone to read it. This next one is called Leaves and Flowers. Air like sauna sweat. Every breath like fire. The beast rays beat you down. But more like the flu, not like a prize fighter. You never get knocked out. You just keep getting jabs and stabs and hooks. As the bruises and bumps multiply, you feel worse, but cognizant through it all. Harvesting the crop on the plain or the field after a hot summer day and a brutal 3 months, maybe years. Tender leaves once flourishing droop. Now brittle, yellow, is not as beautiful as it was in early June. Devoid of moisture, lacking life, the buds and leaves crack, break off, and flutter in the wind. Without a home, a life, a reason, they just float in the air, crumbling to disintegration, or until the stifling asphalt greets them. If these leaves are not burned by the boil of the tar, trampling by 10,000-pound vehicles, nature's lawn predators, or by fitness and fanatics and their pressing shoes, will expedite dissolution. Those former plants decompose like the vermin carcasses, and their brownish-green stool samples left behind, right into the soil. Once so glorious in its vibrancy, these leaves and flowers are now just shit in the soil or lying in it. But, like all else in the soil, new organisms will grow out of it. That one was called Leaves and Flowers. This next piece, which will likely be my final piece, time allotted here, it's called Punishment. And I am pretty proud of this one. I just finished it not too long ago, but I'm proud of it because it's a little different from what I normally portray here. It's kind of like a poem-prose mixture in a way, but Anyway, this one is called Punishment. And one last note on it before I get into it. This one was inspired by the plane that crashed off the coast of Malaysia. Or was it Australia? It was either Australia or Malaysia. I can't remember which. But it's kind of based off of it loosely. And then after this, we'll probably have some time left, but I have some announcements to make about further shows and other things. I'll get to that after this piece, though. Punishment. Punishment never leaves scars if you die. Eardrums shattering, glass shaking, bars walled, people cornered or planed. Plan of great, glorious construction and indelible customers soars over the landscape. Or the crisp sapphire ocean. I am looking at the touchdown. I am feeling the powder and all the dissidents they taught. I was punished by this life. Serendipitous lies brilliantly strung out to lead me on. They did. Spring flowers. Spring brings flowers and rain showers. Even the last snow can't hide. Hard work like the grass growing or the April sun melting will lead to success and accomplishment. Humans like the bees in the blooming buds won't sting or poison. Fuck, man, how stupid was I to believe all that shit? There is no judge or jury in this cold world, just executioner. I am finally honest to myself as the nosedive begins. I can finally live by my own right and not that bullshit fake macho survival of the fittest plan. There is no one fit when everyone is weak. Ugly to most, but to me, this fate is golden or blue. Golden or blue. I'm touching this plane down. I'm landing it now. The coked up pilot said as we were gliding over crystal clear, sparkling blue Pacific waters. But you're over water, not nowhere near land. What the hell are you saying? Do not fly that low. What the hell are you doing? Dumbfounded controllers roared their discontent over the speakers. This crazed pilot held close to all the chaos. I'm taking it down! It's time to land! It's time to fucking land! We're headed on our way! We are headed to the afterlife! We're headed to another life! We're headed to truth! I, in the coked up, showering yells, fawning my paste of instability unto everyone. But really, I was the most stable out of all. I'm sure, afterwards, media propaganda will eschew this fact. All these idiots jumping around, running into each other, dripping sweat, panicking and releasing anger and tools of no help and are no help. Some tried to enter the cockpit. My cold metal barrels halted their approach, while others endured brutal pistol whipping. One of the passengers was taking notes, I assume for proof, and howling like a diseased banshee. I glanced back, jumped out of my chair, crumbled the note, jabbed him in the face a couple of times, avoided the mob, sneaking low, and launched back into my launching spot. Now as we feel the ocean's waves getting closer, remember all I say as we plunge. There are no leaves and flowers here. There is no fresh spring air. There is no cocoon to break out of. This is the real spring. We must all receive our fate. We must take our judgment. But at least when we do, we will rest in peace, knowing that we know who we are. Remember this all. Now, for the last words. Get him! That one was called Punishment. Before I go on to my announcements, I want to echo my sentiment to everyone out there. I'm sure all the families who lost people in that crash are very distraught over what has happened. But this is in no way, shape, or form trying to glorify what happened there. This is more a metaphor that the crash itself inspired me to write. All right, on to the little announcements. First of all, the show's coming up. I should have an impromptu episode tomorrow or Friday concerning the next show, which will be next Wednesday, April 2nd. It will be a storytelling episode. Basically, it will be a prose episode. I'll be sharing a lot of prose pieces that have stories intertwined in them. And the impromptu episode coming up, whether that's Thursday or Friday, will have an introduction to that. Also, April 9th, I'm bringing politics back because, baby, I'm nowhere near done with my disdain for that. I plan on creating a good tidbit of information, and there will probably be an impromptu episode next Thursday or Friday, the 3rd or 4th, involving that, because 30 minutes is nowhere near enough time to express how I do not like politics. Also, either in the impromptu episode coming up this Thursday or Friday, the 27th or 28th, or next Wednesday, the 2nd, I will have a big announcement because a piece of mine has been selected to be published in a certain publication. I don't have all the details yet on how it will be published or what issue it will be published in, but when I do, I will give you all the details because I'm really proud of this piece getting done, and it's one of my best pieces, something I probably won't share on here just because I want people to read it in books, or I won't share it until it's actually published. That's all for today. As I said, check the YouTube. This will be up on YouTube. Let's get some callers in, please. I mean, I say this every week, but that would be awesome. I would definitely shut my mouth for a little bit to hear you all speak. And there will be impromptu episodes this Thursday or Friday, and probably next Thursday or Friday as well. April 2nd, storytelling. April 9th, politics. Everybody catch it all. Have a grand night.